Good afternoon, I'm Jodie Gill and this is your Midday News Fix for Wednesday the 11th of June. The Greens claim the government isn't going far enough with new sanctions against two Israeli politicians. New Zealand, Australia, the UK, Canada and Norway have issued travel bans to Israel's Finance Minister and National Security Minister, accusing them of inciting extremist violence. Foreign Minister Winston Peters insists our government is just targeting those two politicians, not the Israeli government as a whole. But Greens co-leader Chloe Swarbrick argues it should be.
If we're to look at the sanctions that have been applied against these two individuals and the logic that Winston Peters is using, that could be extended to many other members of this cabinet and indeed the Israeli parliament.
Conservationists say environmentalist Sir David Attenborough would be mortified by images showing a record 6 tonnes of coral caught in a single trawl net off the South Island's east coast. The coral was caught late last year by a bottom trawler operating in the Chatham Rise, a deep-water fishing ground east of Christchurch. Seafood New Zealand CEO Lisa Futschek says it is a highly regrettable mistake because the net was deployed in the wrong place. Power prices are still rising despite assurances we won't face last year's winter woes. Stats NZ data shows electricity prices have jumped 6.2% since last year. Meridian Energy says hydro lake levels have risen high enough so power supplies won't be as stretched. Consumer NZ Power Switch Manager Paul Fuge says the best way to save money this winter is to search for power plans utilising non-peak usage times.
Electricity is cheaper on the spot market at those times, and so retailers will reward customers on those plans with cheaper prices.
More questions than answers on where a number of 15-year-olds are heading after being allowed to drop out of school. Preliminary Ministry of Education figures show 1,376 teens left before turning 16 last year, the highest number since 2007. Secondary School Principals Association President Louisa Naru says they need more data because if these children aren't in further training or learning, where are they?
Our aspiration is all of our young people to achieve success, to thrive. Part of that is leaving school with higher qualification levels.
Field Days is opened at Hamilton's Mystery Creek with 100,000 visitors expected over the next 4 days. 1,200 vendors will be plying their wares at the Southern Hemisphere's largest agribusiness event, displaying the latest farming innovations. Chief Executive Richard Lindris says a large international cohort is also there this year.
We have 23 embassies represented here, over 66 international exhibitions and over 1,200 overseas visitors. So give some context of the international following of Field Days.
In sport, the All Whites have suffered a 2-1 football defeat to Ukraine in their second and final match for the Canadian Shield at Toronto. Marko Stamanic scored New Zealand's goal. Australia have joined New Zealand in qualifying for next year's World Cup after a 2-1 victory over Saudi Arabia at Jeddah. All Blacks winger Caleb Clark's re-signed with New Zealand Rugby until the next World Cup, and Christchurch's Isaac Theatre Royal will host another edition of the New Zealand Squash Open next year. I'm Jodie Gill and that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.